Who have we got there? Adam, are you there?
Good morning, John. How are you?
I'm pretty good, Adam. What about you?
Very well, thank you. I'm John. I was hearing what you were just saying about what happened in Western Australia. It was very tragic, John, and we really need to get together as a community and do that. But what I was reading about, the comments of the Prime Minister, how he wants to get tough on domestic violence. But, John, this is not targeting international people at all, but there's a lot of international students in New South Wales and are getting domestic violence orders against them from New South Wales Police, and they're still allowed to stay in the country. It's very clear, John, if people get domestic violence orders against them, they're from a different country for hitting women or assaulting women, they should be kicked out straight away. And we need to send a very, very strong message to the community of New South Wales and anybody in general. If you
yes, okay, hold the phone, Adam. You know, it's a nice idea, and I agree, just kick the bastards out. You can't do it. I mean, if they are Australian citizens, you can't just kick them out.
John, I'm talking about international students that are here on student visas who are getting AVOs taken against them by New South Wales Police for hitting their girlfriends and hitting women and hurting women. And they're allowed to, the Home Affairs Minister comes out and says, but they're not breaching their character grounds. Of course they're breaching their character grounds because they're hurting women. We've got to get very tough on this. It's a really epidemic, and people have got to realise that you shouldn't be allowed to touch women at all. If you can't get along with them, move away from them and don't have nothing to do with them.
Yes, don't have anything to do with them. Yeah, well, that's a very lovely idea. But we were all brought up that you weren't supposed to hit women or hurt women. But a lot of good that did, because there's a lot of belting of women going on.
John, we've got to get really tough on the courts. The magistrates have got to start laying down the law. If people hit women, they get locked up.
I agree with you. About the
no more bail, nothing. If you want bail...
Hang on a minute, hold the phone. I agree with you about the courts. They need to get tougher, and it is very, very aggravating. We've got a great police force in the state of New South Wales. Most Australia states have got a great police force, but it must be so frustrating for those policemen who go out and apprehend these thugs, these bastards who want to beat up women. They go and apprehend them, they put them in court, and some mealy-mouthed judge comes along and says they can, oh no, you can go free, we'll put you on a good behaviour bond for a year. Well, then they go and beat somebody else up.
Shouldn't happen anymore.
It should not happen. You're right. It should just not happen anymore.
The magistrate should lay down the law and say, you're not getting out of jail until you prove that you're going to go into a program and you stop doing this. And if you can keep reoffending, you go to jail and you stay there until you can behave yourself.
Yeah, well,
we're going to send a strong message to this community, and we all need to get behind these women and the police to make these magistrates and these politicians actually start listening to the community, John. People like you get on the radio all day and tell these politicians, and they still don't listen. And they've got to start listening, because more women are going to get killed in our communities if we don't stand up now. So hopefully the Premier's listening, and I hope these magistrates are listening today. We're going to start protecting the women in New South Wales and Australia in general.
Okay, Adam, look, we're aware of all that, mate. We know that we've got to look after the women. But the situation at the moment is not good. Every year in New South Wales, the police respond to over 140,000 domestic and family violence calls for help. People calling for help. One every 4 minutes. Can you believe that? 1 every 4 minutes calls to the police to respond over domestic and family violence calls. It's horrible. It's horrible.
And I think we need domestic violence courts now. So courts, special magistrates who understand this, who deal with these sort of people who are doing this.
Yeah, maybe that's not a bad idea.
Straight away, everybody should be electronically monitored who's involved in domestic violence, so they know, the police know where they are all the time.
Yeah.
And the jail term shouldn't be maximum 5 years, should be minimum 5 years for people who reoffend on this sort of behaviour. That's where we should start. But education in the schools needs to come about how you treat women and how you behave with women. That's where it needs to start too, John.
Anyway, I agree with you, Adam, but keep in mind, the more we talk about it, the better too.
Yeah, we're going to start talking. Everybody's got to start talking and make sure they treat people equally and treat people nicely.
Yeah, but you can't expect that of some people who are twisted to begin with, and that's the problem. I mean, a lot of these...
We've got to deal with that. We've actually got to start dealing with that as a community. We can't just let people go. If there's a problem, we've got to address it, John.
If only it was that easy, Adam. If only it was that easy.
Yeah, but we've got to try, John. We've got to really get together as a community and stamp this out.
I agree, and I think everybody listening would agree. But how do you do it?